Dominic Perrottet in Gosford, dishing out $500 million in this year's budget to move forward with faster rail, topping his trip to the Central Coast with $18 million to the University of Newcastle to deliver a second campus in Gosford. But when it came to local government matters, the New South Wales Premier wasn't as generous.
Got the council behind you. I guess what's the state government's plans? I guess working with the council, you've delivered some money for, a fast track, but we have a really bad pothole problem here on the coast.
Great question, and this is something that the Cities Minister and former Planning Minister we worked towards a year ago or so, and I'm certainly open to providing financial support for local governments who achieve good things. I want to incentivise good councils and reward great performance, not poor performance.
We talk about, though, the councils that can do better. So we're going back local here. Talking about incentives and meeting criteria. The council has, been in the biggest financial disaster in the country's history. What can the state government do? Because the community is calling out for you guys to step in.
Well, there's a division of responsibility. There's a division of responsibility from the Commonwealth government to the state government to local councils. Local councils have generally one job, rates, rubbish, and local roads. That's what they should be. That's what they should be focused on. And if there are opportunities for the government to partnership with local councils, we do that. Now, if there are challenges with the local council here, who want to write to me in relation to those issues, certainly look at it.
Have you been made aware of the council's problem, though, with the
Well, I know there's generally been issues up here with the council, but in relation to what you're saying with potholes and the like, I haven't heard that. But I can tell you, there's not one council across New South Wales that has a pothole issue. Potholes are a perennial problem for councils and for the state.
Well, we would have thought that any government who went through the steps of merging a council, probably the biggest merger in the state, and then have one of the worst financial disasters in local government history, would be across those particular issues. It goes to show that maybe in the scope of government, the Central Coast doesn't really matter to this Liberal government, because any good Premier would be fully versed on all of the local issues before they come for a visit. It's nice to come and make announcements and cut ribbons, but as a government, you also have responsibility.
No, it didn't seem the Premier came here, but it doesn't seem to know too much about Council's position. Speaking with the CEO on that, they were a bit annoyed with his comment about, not helping, underperforming councils. I guess, is this something that you're going to raise further with him?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Look, the other thing is, the Minister for Regional Roads, Sam Farraway, and I have been in constant consultation about the roads here on the Central Coast. And look, potholes, as the Premier did articulate, are a problem right across New South Wales. The best thing that we can hope for is weather like this, because it gives council a chance to get on top of those pothole issues.
It comes as Perrottet's local government minister Wendy Tuckerman announced a new date for Central Coast Council elections.
Those elections will be conducted on the 14th of September 2024. That decision has been made in light of the inquiry. We're aligning the council elections to the same time as other councils will have their elections. We think that's the best opportunity to be able to make sure that the organisation is embedded in that period and that we're fit for purpose to deliver for the community.
Having a firm date allows us to now plan as to our progress going forward. So while the financial crisis is in a sense technically over, in other words, we do have cash now, we don't have a cash flow issue anymore, we do have a lot of work still to do inside the organisation to make sure the services that we provide to the community are delivered in a more effective and more productive manner.
Saving ratepayers millions in election costs, but some say it's come at the price of democracy.
Can I say, in regards to democracy, you have 5 local members in this Central Coast area. There is plenty of opportunity to have your voices heard. You have an administrator that is consulting with the community at all times and has an open door policy.
Receive all the feedback we provide them. We meet with them regularly to update them on our concerns. And look, let me tell you, if we said to the community we're going to spend between $1.5 to $2 million having an election and then have another one 18 months later, they would much prefer to see that money going into fixing potholes.
The community doesn't have its elected voice, and 2 years, in my book, is way too long. The community have suffered long enough. I have called this council out and I now call the state government out. We are not a second-rate location here on the Central Coast. We want our democracy and we want it now.
That when things went bad, the government didn't assist, and that's meant that our rates and now our water and everything is more expensive. Our services are being cut, and the number of employees of council are being cut as well. So people are rightly angry about that, and now they can be rightly angry that there'll be 4 years essentially that they won't have a democratic voice in the way our local government runs.
There was a review, a comprehensive review that was conducted, and as a part of that review, it recommended that all councillors be dismissed, and that's what occurred.
Look, there's no secret, I am a long-standing former councillor and former mayor of this establishment behind me today. I have proudly served my community for almost 25 years, a quarter of a century. I did it proudly, and to watch the council dissolve in front of me night after night with these people destroying it financially, leaving the ratepayers with a $235 million loss and a debt of $560 million, as we all know today, is a disgrace. And what reward does one get? Myself and my other colleagues that called it for what it was, night after night, to be bullied, harassed, intimidated. We got sacked. So ask me the question, who on God's earth wants to run for the council in 2 years' time?
CEO Daniel Farmer and Administrator Rick Hart will continue to run Central Coast Council. Meanwhile, a constitutional referendum will be held later this year to decide the future number of councillors and wards.
To get a feeling from the community as to whether or not they are going to agree with reducing the number of councillors to 9 and reduce the number of wards from 5 to 3.
Sky Hull, CC News Media.